going to be a hot one today in the American Pacific Northwest. Hi, everybody. I'm Joshua. Today is June 25th, 2017, and this is the weekly Delver development stream. Delver, if you don't know about it, you can find the website behind my head here at delvergame.com. But Delver is a procedural dungeon crawler with fantasy first-person and roguelike elements. Delver is a two-person passion project, I should say. It is a video game that we are working to finish. We've been working on it for 4 or 5 years now, which is a long time. Having said that, we work on it in our we work on it part-time in our free time. It is not, I don't know, like we love it. It's just slow progress. You know, it's a passion project. And yeah, if you want to support us, that's cool. It's a thing you can do. We're on early access on Steam. If you're not into early access, I also get it. We're planning on releasing later this year. In fact, that's what these videos are all about, is me pushing towards getting this game out. It looks like I was shooting for a June release for this dungeon area update, and it was looking like we might not hit the June release. It might slip to July. It's just this new dungeon area. I'm just spending more time on it than I would like. So today is kind of going to be me switching gears and working on some other parts I haven't even touched. So hey chat, thank you for everybody for stopping by to watch me work on Delver. Hey Javier. Cool, so here's the website. It's also on Humble if that's your thing. You also get a Steam key. I just mentioned Steam because that's the one we update the most frequently. While we're in early access, we'll probably focus on updating the Steam build until we're done, and then all the other platforms that we intend on supporting will get updated. Hey Felix. Cool. All right. All right, let's see where we're at. Get poll. So all right, let's check out what we're working on. That's usually what I kind of roll into next. We're just going to do a git log, one line, and Chad has been very busy. Yeah, he's been committing a lot of changes. Yeah, I did this last stream. So Chad is actually adding a system for creating lakes, which is interesting because it does it after the. So the level is built by stitching together rooms, and then the lakes are actually created on the entire level as a whole, so they can actually cut cross rooms, which is pretty darn cool. Looks like floating eyes do magic damage. That's cool. Instead of fire damage, because they used to set you on fire, which stings. Spell tweaks for undead mage. Update spells for lich. Status effects can have shader now. Yeah, some of these shaders are definitely a work in progress. They need tweaking, but it is cool that status effects can have shaders. More shader work, hanging grass and or unifying grass and hanging shaders, refactoring shader attribute binding. Lots of shader work. Again, these are probably gonna need some tweaking because right now, I think the shaders on the grass and the hanging stuff is probably a bit too strong, and it looks very what's the word? Like it's just too much sliding around on the ground. It needs to be maybe toned down a little bit. Magic item shader, lake generator, which is pretty cool. They're pretty rare. I haven't actually hit a lake yet. I tried going through several runs and just haven't hit a lake. But it should be a cool way to break up the dungeon. This is a merge of a branch. Nothing there. Growing pits between dungeon rooms. So pits. This is basically procedural generation on the level as a whole versus the room by room basis that we normally do. Don't place torches on the ground. That's an interesting. This is a new development here. Lake generator can no longer wipe out dungeon exit tile. That's good. Don't want to wipe out the dungeon exit. Dungeon generator can choose. Yeah, so this is adding, I guess, hooks to the dungeon generator, so you can actually let it know what you want to do. Giving sliders on some dust effect. Oh, sliding doors some dust effects. That's cool. Dungeon generator can now lock tiles. Lake generator will not overwrite these tiles. Using for wall and entities. I guess merging that branch back in. Edit remembers last generated room type for a Swift Shift G hotkey. That's cool. Teaching lakes how to make stairs. That's an interesting commit. And fixing some grid editor issues in Windows. So Chad has been very busy this week. Hey Michael. Hey Stinky Wes. Save. Yeah, so I've just been doing some, I guess, yeah, not a lot of work for me. Like I've been working, but not a lot of like progress, which is kind of frustrating. Because I've been working a lot on these props. I can show you the props so you know what I'm talking about. Let's launch Blender. Like I've been working on like these props and having this kind of book system and like these benches and stuff. And I don't know, I'm kind of like, there's more props I want to make. Like I still have like these fireplaces and like I want to update the bed and the table and an altar and stuff like that. So maybe I'll split today between doing some 3D modeling and pixel art and doing some level design. I think that sounds like a reasonable thing to do. And let's do the fireplace, because I think actually I could probably reuse some textures from either of a small fireplace and a large fireplace. So yeah, there should be room on here to shove that in there. So let's do it. Actually, yeah, if you're new to Delver, let me play a little bit so you actually know what's going on here. Hey Chris, long time no chat, man. How is life? Hopefully all is well your way. Let's start a new run. Cool. Yeah, actually, I like what Chad's done with the little fog thing on the light. Actually, it looks pretty darn good. That was more in line with what I think it should look like. And this is the camp. So yeah, this is Delver. This is the starting area. This is the camp. These basically serve as in between runs. You can buy stuff, or you can get lore, or whatever. It's not super important. We're just going to go right into the dungeon. Let's go ahead and that candle in my offhand, so I have a little bit of extra light. Okay, and here we go. So Delver is a procedurally generated dungeon crawler. So, whoa, she was waiting for me. Oh my goodness. Yeah, some of these, like these effects just are too noisy, I think. Yeah. Yeah. We need to do something about that. It's cool that we can do it, but I think I'd rather it be like kind of match the visual aesthetic. Yeah, Chad, we got to work on these. And I guess that's yeah. Let's I guess equip our buckler. Let me see. Oh, Chris is having trouble getting up early. No worries. I understand that you live on the other side of the world, so it's not exactly convenient. Cool. So yeah, so just kind of run through the dungeon. Maybe when I hit the stairs down, I'll do a little bit of work. But yeah. What else? Yeah, mostly just I don't know. Like, I'm not really sure. Like I need to like try to do some like self introspection as to why things are going slowly. Maybe because I just like sometimes when I get focused on a on a problem, I really like laser focus on it, and sometimes it might be better for me just to move on to a different task and then come back to it later. Like sometimes I do find myself spinning my wheels for like large chunks of unproductive time. So I think I need to be better about recognizing when I'm in that state and not falling subject to it, which is easier said than done. Because like making behavioral changes, about yourself is tough. Cool. So yeah, that was the first area, and then there are more dungeon areas, and the theme will change as you go down. So now this is the caves, and the caves should have a different look and feel than the dungeon did, and you progress further and further down. Cool. Okay, so let me get back to my branch. There we go. Cool. And yeah, let's just work on this. I have these structural elements and they're cool. I have a pillar and a pilaster. Have I exported the pillar? My question. Dungeoneer, assets, meshes, dungeon, pillar. I do. Okay, I did export it. Okay, so I can use that if I want to. A lot of my work right now has also been trying to get this like the dungeon decorator working a little bit better. So hopefully, with that, it will save me time actually building these levels. It usually takes me around I don't know 2 to 3 hours per room, and I usually need to build about 20 rooms per level. So that's anywhere between 40 to 60 hours of work for a pretty minimal set of rooms for the new levels. So let's see this. Yep. So this is what I've been working on. So this is kind of my style guide, and hit play, and it'll auto populate like benches, and it'll put stuff on the walls. And what else is it doing? Yeah, it puts little. Yeah, those I need to add pages for those, because right now they just break into wood, which isn't good. I think I also have let me see. Yeah, the bookcases, they are procedurally generated too, so the shelves can have different stuff on them depending upon, see if I can find a couple together. Which is a fun little task that wasn't too hard to do using the systems we already have in place. So this typically, I think all the rooms are 3 units tall, and then I have these kind of archways to kind of signify doors. And I'm trying to really get around this whole room hall design. So let's start making some new rooms. And also I think maybe I want to hack the editor, because right now by default when you carve, you get a 1 tall room. Let me see if I can hack the editor to get a 3 tall room just by default to make my life easier. Editor. I think it's carve. Carve action. Action, editor mode, carve or paint. I'm trying to think where I'm trying to find out right now. Oh, so editor frame do carve, okay. And then this do carve. Wall text, floor text. Floor height equals selection height dot y. Seal height equals selected tile dot seal height. Maybe by default is that. By default, seal height is 0.5 and floor height is minus 0.5. Interesting. I wonder if I could just hack this real quick just to have. So this should be 2.5. Now run. Thanks, Chris. I appreciate the kind words. Like, I don't know. Like I've kind of gotten in a. There we go. Nice. I could quickly make these rooms. It's pretty easy to get into, like, I don't know, not like just a. I don't know, like, development is weird that you can kind of get into the like an isolated place where, like, you kind of get really kind of down on yourself. I'm sure you understand. And, like, throw a light in here. Where's it at? Lights. Why can't I see it? Lights, ambient. L to turn on the light preview mode, and then maybe range 9, which is okay. Hit play, and then it does throw stuff on the walls like crazy. I mean, this is probably not great. Those numbers probably need tweaking. but that's something that can be done. I'm just a lot of the work here is trying to make the empty rooms look interesting without a lot of work by a designer. So cool. So what I want to do, I guess, is start with a whole fresh set of rooms. Yeah, that's what to do. Cascada says Java tier face. Okay. Not sure what that means. All right. Delver is written in Java. For better or for worse, that's where we are. Yep, Chris, I agreed. Working on a team, especially if you're co-located, is much easier and like more good for your mental health, I suppose. Okay. Yes. So assets, generator, dungeon. So do I have? Yeah, I do have it, but these are the old ones. Oh, real quick, let me. Man, let me. Yeah, this is potentially. So I need to be careful about not breaking. Yeah, I don't want to break people's stuff that already exists. So maybe instead of. A new folder, I suppose. Dungeon. New, for the lack of a better term. Dungeoneer, assets, generator. Let's do dungeon new. So I have the beginnings, corners, ends, halls. Okay, so good idea. Corners. And what else do I need? Ends. Halls. Actually, instead of doing this, actually I can go out to, there should be, if you go to github.com, let me see, github.com/Joshua Skelly/Delver-community-mods. There should just be in here. Yeah, this is just a like a template for creating new areas for the dungeon. So I'm just going to download this. Or actually, let me just clone it. I think this is a new machine, so I might not actually have this repo. So let me just clone that real quick. That'll probably be faster. Yeah. Let's just clone it. Pretty small. There we go. And then we have, what is it? I called it dungeon section basic. Generator. Templates. And I think that is the actual. Yeah. Copy that, and then go into repositories, Delver, engineer, assets, generator. Let's delete that, paste that, and call this one dungeon new. Okay. I might need to rename my new dungeon area, and so we can preserve the old dungeon stuff for mods. 212 says, what are we doing today? So today we are doing some level editing and some prop building. Okay. Cool. If I launch the editor, file open, and generator and dungeon new. These all are just super basic pieces to get you started. And in fact, they should just be a small functional area into themselves. Like I think if I actually run it, it will pick it up and work. So let's take a look. This was dropped into Dungeoneer, assets, generator, dungeon new. And it does have an info.dat, right? So it should, yeah, and it should just get smashed right in with all the other stuff. So this is, does it have a name? Info.dat, no, section.dat. Name is template, so this is dungeon new. And if I not that button, Joshua, if I run desktop, I should be able to hop to it. Felix says, do rooms only work with size 17 by 17? I believe so. I know Chad had been doing some work to lift that restriction. I'm not sure if that stuff got checked in or not. I can't remember. Yeah, so if we go down, Dungeon 1, Dungeon 2, Dungeon New 1. And these are the template pieces that we just brought in. Using theme. Oh yeah, interesting. Yeah. Looks like the naming is not correct here. Dungeon Rooms theme is, yeah, so this right here is what was causing that. So this needs to agree with the name of the folder that it lives in. Otherwise, it doesn't know where to pull the data from, and we get into it looks like a bad state, Chad. We might want to not get into an endless loop here, though. That's bad. Okay. Yeah, there we go. And this again is not going to be super interesting, but it will be a functional dungeon level. Cool. So now just to start replacing them. Delver has basic controller support. Like I don't think we really do inventory management very well, but you can like look around and attack and stuff. Right now it's best with a mouse and keyboard, but you can do like the 360 works okay, and there are like Steam controller configs that also do work okay. Cool. So let's play around with what a delve edit run. And file open, and then let's look at generator, dungeon new, and I always forget the difference between beginnings and starts. One is only shown at the start of a dungeon section, and one is chosen at the beginning of every single level. So real quick, I guess I can find out. I can find out. So let's just select this. And let's just change the floor texture to I don't know, grass. Save. File, open, and then starts, load. And then make this one, make the floor texture carpet. Save. And then let's run Delver. Oop. What happened? Interesting. Breakable Java, tick entity, face screen. Probably something about this game instance being weird. Let's debug that and see what happened there. So game.instance is null. Yeah, this happens. Why does this happen? If I step, that should throw an exception. Yep. Throws, that should be a null ref. Which is weird because I didn't make any changes that should have affected that. Yeah, like what are my working changes, I guess. Towlet Java and Dungeon New, those shouldn't. Yeah, let me just revert my changes real quick. And then let me debug and see if the same thing happens. Okay, so why did I did not even hit my where was this? It didn't even hit that breakpoint, which is interesting. Why would the shake timer be like, I don't understand why it was behaving the way it is, and it's not reproducing. Strange. Okay, so maybe a CP-R, is that right? Nope. Oh, I always forget the syntax on this. Missing destination operator file. There we go. Cool. Okay, so now we should have our Dungeon New back. And then our Dungeon New, we need to update the section.dat to point to Dungeon New. Okay. Yep. Yep. Yep, Felix, you're always like. I usually seem to figure it out about right about the time that Felix's answer comes through chat. Okay, cool. Yeah, so let's try running it now, because I really hadn't made any significant changes. What happened to my camera? What do you mean, Evram? Is it not? It should still be there. Oh, quality's better? Yeah, I don't know. I've been tweaking a little bit of my setup. It should have changed. Oh, I have a light. I have like a big old. I bought a cheapy little photography light to put in front of my face, so it's not so dark. Yeah, and it's not hitting that now, so that's super weird. I don't know why it was behaving that way. I think I lowered my bitrate a while back. I'm just kind of slowly dialing in my streaming settings over time. So hopefully it is my stream quality is improving the more I do it. And then okay. Yeah, so delve edit, and then I think I also wanted to look at was it tile? Tile.java. And yeah, the seal height. I changed that as well. Yeah, no, I'm glad that the quality is good for you. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Anyways, let's go back to the editor. Delve edit, and I might be able to suss out the difference between the beginnings and the start by looking at existing areas, because I think levels. Wait, up dungeon or generator, dungeon, beginnings. There's lots of beginnings and starts there. Let's look at, I think, Undead. Undead has no beginnings, it only starts. So I'm thinking beginnings are the special one. Yeah, because I think beginnings will be used if you got them. Otherwise, starts are the ones that it prefers. Okay. So let's go to dungeon new and starts, and this is the one. Let's edit this one. Okay, so if I carve that, I do get the correct height. And I want to take advantage of like as much of the tile as I can, because I do want to have like, or maybe I'm thinking more of it as from a beginning perspective, but having a nice big, like entry area is cool. Let me remove this marker. Let me also, let me grab the correct tile set. So it should be called, unfortunately, dungeon. Grab the upper, let's set the lower to the trim, let's set the floor to this, and let's set the ceiling to the ceiling texture. And let me go ahead and start just carving some of the walls. Then I can raise this up here and then pull this down. There we go. And I think the trick used to work where you could make a selection here and pull it this way. And maybe it's changed. Used to be able to, there we go. I'm not sure what's going on with the floor there. That's weird. Ooh, we got some Z fighting and it shouldn't do that. It shouldn't be able to make the floor go past the ceiling. Yeah, I'm curious now if my change broke it or if it just doesn't work the way it used to. I can just kind of manually do it right now, I suppose. So I really ought to be able to make the selection here and just drag it here. And it should just, yeah, it's not preserving the floor. It looks like it's not really preserving the floor and ceiling heights like it used to, which is a bummer because that was a really fast way for me to work. Okay. I'm not sure what Chad's inspirations were for the Delver editor in particular. I know just the basic way the levels are constructed. I know was inspired by System Shock. But where the, I mean, if you look at the very first version of the Delver editor, let me see if I can pull it up. It also has changed a lot. Yeah, here's an image of it. Yeah, so this is what the editor used to look like. Back in the day, it was certainly usable. And before that, we used to make levels using just straight up bitmaps. So it has come a long ways. System Shock. System Shock. Well, I mean, Delver is also entirely tile based as well. Okay, let's chop that out. Yep, it works, but it is super rudimentary. It is nice to have these WYSIWYG level editors because it is nice to be able just to see exactly what you're going to get, and you know, no real surprises there. Nothing really much Masonics. I just did my usual overview and just starting working now. So prefab, dungeon sets, door arch. Let's slam this. There we go. Slam that right there. Make sure I don't get any Z fighting. I think I will. Nope, that should be okay. Then I guess just throw a torch down right here. Yeah, something is definitely goofed up with the prefabs and the groups and stuff like that. So Chad said he'd take a look at it. So hopefully things do get straightened out. Yeah. That is a shame. So as a temporary workaround, I've been throwing stuff into groups. No, it's just that right now the engine, if you place a model or a group, it rotates them differently. Yeah, I guess I could take a. Actually, I don't want to distract myself with that. Let's just pivot to working on some art, because that I got hung up on that for like a week without much progress. So I'd rather not work on that. Let me just go back to art and just make some pretty stuff. Yeah, because basically one needs to rotate clockwise, one needs to rotate counterclockwise, but that it works for the proceed like the room decorator. Like when the computer puts them down, it works, but when you manually place them down, it's broken. And I've spent some time looking at it, but Chad is the one who understands that code the best. Okay, and I'm just gonna not worry about it and spin my wheels on it. I'm gonna do something else. So, I guess I could let's do the fireplace. I keep talking about it. Let's just do it. Okay, let's do something like interesting. I think this is, do I need to fix the model at all? Maybe. Maybe some wasted UV space otherwise. And also too, if we have per vertex lighting, so you can get some weird artifacts if you don't always join up the verts here. Like if you have, I've noticed like if you have floating geo like this, like it's not actually attached. What you can get is so let's say, for example, in the Delver engine, if we have a light source over here, and the light is just casting, light in all directions, which is great. And this light will hit this vertex and this vertex, and etc. And that's how we use we calculate, just the vertex lighting. It's super basic. But what's interesting is often when you have a light source, typically as you have like a fall off for the light. So this is super rough, but like a fall off for the light will be something like this, right? Or let me see if I can actually change the color of my grease pencil. Yeah, so let's just make a brighter value up. I can't do multiple. It's just one for the entire. Okay, never mind. Yeah, so the light will typically like have some kind of cubic, or like it's a non-linear fall off. So the value, say here will be like somewhere here, and this vertex will be somewhere here. But the vertex, when you do lighting per vertex, it's linear, so it looks something more like a straight. Excuse me, it's a straight line. And the lighting looks like that. So what happens is the light values. So compared to like the light color here versus the light color here on the interpolated value will be different, and it looks a little strange. So you can get some weird lighting artifacts because of vertex lighting and floating geometry. Cool. So let me just delete that and get to work. Okay. So we don't need I'm pretty sure we don't need the backside of this because like it doesn't. You'd have to talk to Chad about that. Maybe he's changed it since then. I don't know. I've seen when I was working on the cold area, I noticed some weird artifacts because of that. And maybe he's changed it since then. He's certainly been tweaking a lot of the shaders here recently. Just cleaning up some faces. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete that face, and then I'm going to select these edges, loop and bridge. And then same thing here. Select this face, delete, and then select these two edges, loop and bridge. Nice. Okay. Let's figure out. So let's select, I guess, this face and delete it. We don't need the face down here. Okay, so I think we can do something like filling that, and so I guess I can just cut here. Let me scale it like that. And a snap selection to grid. That should be good. Now I can again select edges, loop and bridge. Oh, what happened there? Oh, it didn't. It did not loop as I thought it would. Jeez. Maybe I have some verts that aren't or duplicated. There we go. That's cleaned up. And then probably something similar for this face down here is delete that face. And yeah, let's do something like cut here and scale on the X. Let's snap it to grid, and then we're going to select this and Control X to dissolve it. Same thing here. Dissolve. Actually, I don't want to do it quite that far up. Something like this, like that. Dissolve these, and then I can join it here. Then I can grab, say, this edge and snap to vertex. Snap it there. Snap it there. Okay. That's fine. I don't know if that stuff's. Don't let that bother you, Joshua. Okay. I think that's an ingon, but that's probably okay. I guess ingons can be okay, but what happens is sometimes when you export the ingons, the exporter, the way it decides to chop up the faces may result in weird UVs. So it's just good sometimes to be explicit about that. Okay, I think that should be good. I think this should be a 3 tall fireplace that's ready to be slammed into. Delver. So I guess what we want to do is, let's see, how wide is it? I think it's half a unit wide. So what I want to do is I want it to, yeah, I'm probably gonna have the main collision volume kind of be like just this box here, just ignoring the lip on that. So what I want to do is maybe set up, well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to get it done and worry about that stuff later. So let's just select these 4 vertices. And just hit Shift S, cursor to selected, and that should drop the cursor in the bottom of the object, which is what we want. Cool. And then we can say set origin to 3D cursor, and then now we can hit Alt G to zero out the transformation or the location. And let me just focus on that. Okay. And our scale and rotation have been applied, so I can export this out to Delver and see what it looks like. So file export OBJ, selection only. Don't write materials, but do triangulate faces. And we want to go to meshes dungeon, and this is going to be called fireplace.obj. Export. And then in here, I should be able to pull it in. There's no UVs on it yet, so it's probably gonna look a little weird. But let's I'm just gonna pop it open just to see what it looks like. Test load. Then maybe back in here is where it lives. So new entity, dungeon sets. These are all really fancy. Let's try this one. This is pretty basic. Ungroup. And then the mesh file needs to be dungeon. And fireplace. Okay. And again, if it looks like this in Delver, it's because you haven't exported the UVs. And in my case in Blender, I haven't set any UVs at all. But I think this will probably be all right. I need to flip a face right there. It looks like those normals are inverted. Yeah. This could be cool. Yeah, so it looks like... Oh, I just never bridged them, did I? Oh, goodness. All that work and not actually... Here we go. Edge loops. Bridge. Yeah. I guess when you get this is I think they call it a star. This vertex here, so it probably gets confused on how to actually properly bridge that. There we go. Cool. I guess let's start the unwrapping process. That's a thing we should do. Let me just grab this first. Yeah, this one's just a big flat piece. It should be pretty easy. And it also looks like it should be 32 by like maybe 48. I think is what maybe the dimensions on that are. So let's try that. So you project from view. And then, yep, here we go. And then I can just kind of ballpark it. I know that the way my little grid is set up is this should be very roughly 32. This should be correct. So if I just snap those, let's see how close I got. Yeah, that looks all right. Looks like the correct pixel ratio. Cool. And let me see. Yep, let me just try. I'm just trying to get a fast and dirty unwrap on this, and then I can worry about making it look pretty. So let's mark a seam. Let's select these faces, or select should be 5 dungeon meshes. And then face. As long as it's important this one is the last one selected because I want to do as a U, and then follow active, and that will just nicely pop those out on the sides. And I think I can do something similar here. Follow active. Yep. There we go. Yep, looks like it's maintaining proper pixel ratio. Let's just select these. The same thing. Yep. Or did they not go? Weird. Is it because this is a non-quad that it does that? Yeah, it must be. Yeah. So I wonder if I can pin this and then select these and hit 7 and then U and just do a vanilla unwrap. Yeah, that looked like that did the right thing. Okay, cool. Okay, I'm just kind of working my way down, I guess. Follow active quads. It seems to be doing okay. I think I can get all these in one big go. Yep, there we go. I guess this is the nice thing about the follow active quads and building rectilinear geometry is it is somewhat easy to unwrap. I think I'm getting some stretching here. Let's investigate why. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure why that one. Yeah, it looks like these both on either sides aren't quite the right width. there should only be half of those, so I can just manually fix it, I guess. Let me switch to vertex mode and just grab these vertexes. Or vertices. Geez. Yeah, I've been occasionally I poke my head into some of the like the Doom or Quake source code, and id for some odd reason really like using the word vertexes, and I find myself saying it even though I know that's incorrect. Yeah, this one looks like it's also goofed. Give X. This one. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 pixels. Weird. Okay, so I'm just going to change my snaps to that's my pivot, my snaps to to vertex, and then snap it there, and then get X14. And that should fix that. And it looks like there is an issue on all the sides, so it didn't do the right thing, which is sad. Okay, and then again, yeah. Yeah, you gotta love Latin for being all kinds of crazy. How wide are these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, the whole data and datum thing is also weird as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Where data is the plural and datum is the singular. Correct. Yeah, it's at least in English we say vertex for the singular and vertices for the plural. Yeah, it's weird, and usually non-native English speakers usually goof it up, and it's not a big deal. And sometimes native English speakers goof it up, and I still say it's not a big deal. Just checking my pixels here. Something looks wrong here. 1, 2, 3. It should be 14. There's something that's just, yeah, that's really bothering me. Again, let's not. Right now, I'm starting to like. Yeah, it's not important. Keep going. Okay, this is not a quad. Yeah, so these need to go by 1. Okay, and then again, I'll try the same trick where I just pin these down, and then I select all these faces, and just hit U to unwrap. Yuck! No, don't do that. U project from view. I think it's going to unpin my stuff. Yeah. Oh, Blender. Okay, so let's select these. Alt P. Just try to quickly get them into position. These should roughly correspond to these. Yeah. Yep. No, datum is definitely. Maybe I took very briefly a Latin course at university. Yeah. Sometimes some computer sciencey stuff gets particular about it, but it's not that big a deal, really. Full active quads. Yep. Yeah, unfortunately, that's jeez. This needs to be how big? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I can do that. We just need to go down 3. Yeah, I guess that's the bad thing about following active quads is if you're following non-quad geometry, then it gets a little wonky. Here we go. Keep on trucking. Will this work? Maybe. I think Blender tried hard. Yeah. I think I can fix it by putting my cursor to selected, then pivoting about my cursor, and then maybe just rotating 45 or rotating 90. Rotate 90, then rotate this guy 45. Yuck. Okay, that wasn't quite it, but that's okay. I can just really quickly snap them into place. And it's still looking not quite right either. Unless I got that completely wrong. Oh my goodness. Is that what happened? Yeah, that might be. Let's do it the other way. Maybe that's the correct thing to do. Okay, so let's try rotating it the other way. It's not quite right either. Maybe the sizes are off. Should be 2. Yeah. I think that fixed it. Nope. Nope, something's still busted. Oh man. Something is still busted. So this needs to be okay, that seems roughly correct. Oh no! Don't get water on my my tablet. Whew, it's getting warm in here. Sorry. In the Pacific Northwest, a lot of our homes don't have air conditioning. So when it gets up into the 90s, or for the rest of the world, when it gets up into like the low 30s, it gets hot and stuffy. It doesn't help that my new desktop does put off quite a bit of heat, and I have a big bright light in front of me as well. Okay. So let me just, again, sidestep that for now. Go into front view, let me project that from view. Let me select that, because that should be roughly the same size. And then we just grab this and then just scale it down into position. Yep. See, and my problem is, I guess, is that I don't think, are these actually on? I can't remember if these aren't snapped to pixels, so I can't rely on that. So maybe if I can just do some clever snapping, maybe. Cursor is selected. Okay. Then I want to not all that. Yeah, nope. I already merged it. Jeez. I don't want to snap those. How bad is it? It's not so bad. Not so bad. So if I snap these, but yeah, it looks like it's reasonably close. Oh no, yeah. So we bought a small unit for my son's bedroom to keep his room nice and cold. But my office, it's gonna be a hot summer, so I'm drinking cold beverages and trying to try to think cold. Maybe that'll help. Doesn't help. Okay, keep pushing forward. Okay. So maybe I can do something similar here where I select these, then I pin them, then I select the quads next to them, then just do a regular unwrap. Did that work okay, or did that mess up my, I think it always messes up my pixel ratio. Let's just count the darn pixels. 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Ugh. Okay. Yep, this will all be done in the Delvery pixel style. This is my new mesh sheet over here. Thanks, Chris. Yeah, I guess for you it is winter time. Okay, so hopefully I can just, yep, I do the right thing. Looks close. Okay, it looks really close, except for there's some weirdness there. What are you doing? Is this 1, 2, 8, 1, 2? It was 14. There we go. Let me just check that side as well, because I'm sure it's also messed up. Okay. Wait, will this game be as well in the? This is Delver. I'm working on Delver right now, if that makes sense. Yeah, it's so close to being like correct, but it's not. Just not. Like it picks up like this must be some sort of like little like rounding error that it picks up. And that did not unwrap at all, did it? Let me try removing doubles. Or remove 4 verts somewhere. Let's try that again. There we go. Yeah, it was weird. I'm not sure why it wasn't wanting to wrap around there. Again, this should be, I believe, only for 14. I think that's right. No, it's not 14, it's 10. Okay. So this should roughly line up with that. Maybe. Let me get this like that. That's too small. It should be exactly the same. Select cursor selected. Let me just scale this up. Nope. There we go. Cool. Yes, it looks like it's off in the vertical. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't know why it. Yeah. Oh, not that. Okay, Y 9. There we go. And this one is now wrong. Okay, let me try just pinning those, then just unwrapping all this stuff again. Cool. I think that worked okay. Let me try this. Yep. There we go. This should be 10 by what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 10 by 30? Right? I mean, it looks correct. I guess I can go into face mode and select all this and just hit H. Start hiding some of this stuff that I don't need to be focusing on right now. There we go. And that is not correct. What's going on here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, so is it not wide enough? Must not have been. Okay, let's unhide this stuff. And this also must need fixing now. This is probably too wide. Dang it. Okay, so there we go. And then same trick again, pin these. And then just unwrap those. All right. I really hope I can just do something like do a follow active quads. It's really hopeful that it actually worked like I think it did, but we'll start there. We'll start there. Okay, this quad, follow active quads. Yep. I think that is 2. So as long as that's 2 pixels, yeah. I was hoping this would be more accurate than it actually is. Usually, well, I guess I could snap it back into place. Was that the correct 1, 2, 3, 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, that did okay. Of course, it goofed. Which direction? Looks like we need to move it over by 1. There we go. Probably the same thing on this as well. Yep, that seemed to straighten that out. There we go. I think that looks about right. Oh, okay, we need to figure out how to get this to look correct. I guess I can always just do this. And then just do a U, project from view, and then just fix it. Maybe select this one also so I know kind of what I'm aiming for. This should roughly. Did that work? It looks like it worked okay. Cool. All right, so I think I need to check some of these to make sure that, just real quick, just A. Yeah, that seems okay. So I think these were suspect. Yeah, they are still goofed. So let me just fix it the same way. So U, project from view. Is UV mapping my favorite part about doing art? Oh my goodness, UV mapping is so tedious. Hopefully I'm not boring you folks to tears. Because I do want specific results. Some styles of art you can be a little bit more like flexible on how your UVs look. But if you want pixel perfect art, like you have to be really particular about your UV work. Okay, that should be correct. Yep. That fixed that. I think this is. I think I did this one a similar fashion. I think this one is okay. Let me just make sure. I think it looks all right. Now I remember I thought there's something up with, yeah, the way that this is lining up doesn't seem quite right. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How wide is it actually? Yeah, it is 8. What is this the one that's goofed then? I'm just saying this because this should line up. There shouldn't be that discrepancy. So that's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, bizarre. I've typed them out both. And they that's just certainly there's something wrong with this. Oh, is it not? So it doesn't matter if you're correctly measuring if the place you're measuring from is wrong, right? Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's also just fix this one then. Okay, I think that should be right. Okay. This one, do I care about this face? This face should be jammed up into the ceiling, so let's delete it. Clear our seams. Let's save our file so we don't lose our work, because that would be upsetting. Yep. Details. Ooh, okay, let's fix this. So I'm gonna just do, in Blender, if you select a face, then you hold down Control, and you select another face, it will select all the faces in the shortest path, generally to it. Or I would have thought it would have gone this way, but maybe not. It follows it for, that's the way I want it to do, but okay, yeah, whatever. So let me hit Shift H to hide everything but that. And let's see how goofed up this is. And it's going to be weird because it's also, because it's curved. And typically with this, I just adjust stuff so it actually makes sense with, let me just start like this. Let's do this here. And then basically, this is going to be distorted, but that's okay because it's not directly facing the player. And also, I want it to line up with the UVs that are front facing, if that makes any sense. So like a good example of what I'm trying to accomplish here is on the doors right here. If you notice, there is stretching going on at these angles, but I've lined up the pixels nicely so they seem to preserve the pixel ratio of the face here just kind of wrapped around to the side, but even though it gets stretched a little bit, I think it looks correct, or at least it looks okay. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. And this is just me just kind of ballparking it, which is, there's no real, I haven't found a real technical solution to this. It's just kind of estimating and wiggling stuff around until it gets to where I want it to be. Maybe to help myself out too, I'm going to, so these all should be one chunk, right? Maybe I will also reposition these so that they, like they kind of start at the same position. So lining up the UVs makes more sense, like that way. There we go. Just focus on this front piece here, and I want okay. So hey Jason, thanks for the host, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, if you don't know about Kriya, you should check out Siege Games' streams and their game. It's a sandbox 2D platformer, which is pretty cool. Okay. Let me just this, and then follow active quads. Yep, and then we'll just adjust as needed. So I think I need to go down. And it's not going to be nice, neat pixel values either. I'm just going to have to eyeball it. Okay, that's another weird thing I noticed about Blender as well is you can hold Shift to get fine control of translation. So if like you hit, like if you want to move something and if you hold Shift, it'll scale it down by like 10, like a factor of 10. But I've noticed that in the UV, it's actually not smooth. it jumps. But if I cursor selected, but if I already use scale, that actually is smooth. So that's what I have to use. So scale along the Y, and then I have to just kind of just position it just like that. Okay. And then this next one, so scale Y, and then it should fall right there. I'm trying to get just where these textures, where they meet, to line up nicely. It might not be possible. It just might not. Oh, and also I wanted to, oh geez, let's, okay, hold the phone. I needed to move this up. There we go. And then try that again. Okay. Slowly getting there. I just want to make sure that I'm actually comparing the correct thing. There we go. And up. It's not right. Right. Okay. All right. Making progress. So I'll grab the wrong part. Of that. Hmm. Curious. So this edge, this face needs tweaking. Just way too big. Just not curious how to reconcile this stretch, I guess. Yeah, because this should go something like that. That doesn't seem right though. That should be correct. Okay. Apologies if you can hear my dogs barking in the background. There are some folks trimming back the trees from our house, so hopefully I have my mic configured so you can't hear them. Is how I'm gonna just leave that, I suppose. Okay. And these two. I think, yeah, ultimately what I want is I want this behavior. Yep. I believe Maybe not. Oh, they're going different directions is why. Maybe that's why it's perplexing me. Hmm. Let me add some more detail to my texture just so I can see what I'm actually doing. Okay, let's grab this dark color here. Let's just, I guess when in doubt, I just start painting these checker patterns. I guess it doesn't help that they're like UV directly on top of each other. So these are aligning okay. Yeah, this has way too much stretch in it. Yeah. I think I need to change my bleed up to like maybe 2 so I can actually paint on these edges here. There we go. Yeah. Okay. All right, let's go into edit mode and then see if we can scale this face correctly so where it somewhat agrees with what we're trying to do here. Something like that, maybe. Go back into texture paint mode. Then just drop in. Let's go over here then to paint mode here. And let's just paint in our little checker pattern so I can see what's going on. It's also weird that the color picker in Blender actually picks up the UI. So it actually picked up the gray off of the wire frame. I thought I would expect it to ignore that and not to actually pick it up, which is a weird quirk. So there's that, which is incorrect. What was I wanting to grab? I want to grab wherever this is. So if I were to draw a straight line there, maybe I was just off by a little bit. There we go. And then complete the checker there, and then I can line up my UVs better. Edit mode. And then over here, I need to flip this back to view so I can get back to UV editing. And then get Y. Then try to find there we go. And these actually should line back up to the grid. So I might need to fiddle with these a little bit to make them all play nice. Because these two edges here will not. That's okay. That's probably close enough. And then this and this should be roughly the same size. Yeah, okay. It just seems really, it seems like, yeah, there's some crazy distortion going on here. Okay. I think it should only be like 14 maybe? 12, wait, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Type in the transform, get Y10 negative. There we go. And then I guess to save myself some effort, I'm just going to just delete these faces. And then I'm just going to copy them with the correct UV data and just call it good. So Shift D to duplicate, and then I'm going to scale X -1, flip them. And then I'm going to just snap them into place right there. And then Control Shift N to flip the verts, or flip the faces, excuse me, and let's remove doubles. And then I can reposition this later, but the texel ratio should be acceptable. Okay, Alt H, there we go. I think this whole thing is unwrapped. God, that's gonna take up a huge chunk of, man, that's gonna take up maybe this should have its own mesh sheet. I don't know, like it's taking up like just under a quarter of the entire texture space, which seems gratuitous. And I haven't actually, these aren't strictly unique UVs either. Let me unpin everything. Let me try to start laying this stuff out, and then I may put this into its own sheet. Reload that. Okay. There's that. And real quick, let me just let me save. Let me re-export the fireplace, and let's pop back into Delver and just take a peek at it, just to make sure again it's okay. There's no glaring errors. That's true. Chris saying I could certainly mirror it in the UVs. I mean, it might be nice to have this front part be unique if you wanted to put some sort of crazy like design there, but maybe you don't. Maybe I can just chop this sucker in half and just mirror it, and that would be fine. Or at least rip off, you know, like all the right faces and just mirror them across to the left. That might be another way to do it, but it is a large chunk is what I'm concerned about. So let's just make ourselves a little area here. Let's just quickly texture it. And then let's entity, dungeon set, Pilaster, ungroup, then ungroup, then dungeon, fireplace. Okay. Yeah. And I think is it somewhere there's a fire. What is it called? It's not clutter. Right click, place entity generator. Temple fire. I thought there was actually that's just a fire, which I guess is okay. So I don't necessarily need all the ash and stuff like that. So let's just drop that in there, play. Yeah, it could be cool. I think it could be a nice little decoration object. Should go flush up against the wall. Except for it keeps dropping geo on top of it, which is because there's no collision on it. I can make it solid real quick, I suppose, just as a test. So the width is, oh my goodness, width is wide, like 1.5? 1. The depth is 0.25. And I guess the height can be just this part right here is probably fine. That should be enough to keep the stuff from spawning on top of it. Yeah. It's cool, I guess. Yeah, I think it'll work out nicely. Okay, so let's keep on keeping on. Okay. Yeah, I think Chris is right. I think if we can be clever with our UVs and just try to get some mirroring going on in here, so we don't have to uh, worry so much about UV space. So these are already mirrored. Let's yeah, let's just do this real quick. Let's I can do something like that, but not there. Let's select these. Okay, I think that should be what I want to do, and I'm just going to delete it. Then I can just grab this chunk here. And I think that's right. And I can duplicate it. I can scale it on the X by -1. I can flip the normals, and I can move it into position. And then I can remove doubles. And then there we go. And then I'm using slightly less texture space. And I can also like slam this over on the side now too. Try to make good use of this UV space. Okay. Okay, that's fine. I think I want to just cozy this up right in to with this because there's no reason not to. Oh, I guess there will be some overlap though, and the pixels. Yeah, it might be nice to have a little bit of a buffer because there's gonna be pixel overlap and it may not look good. Yep, you could certainly do that Lepotram, but then the mirroring becomes way more noticeable down this middle part here. So I do that on a few other assets, but yeah, this is I'd like this maybe to be unique, and maybe reuse this chunk up here for my small fireplace texture. Yeah, that's a good thing. I think it's probably like the loop cut may or may not work, but you can just do a select everything and do a bisect. And then you can kind of try to position this carefully and just, you can slice the whole thing in half if you really are so inclined. Yeah. Yep, that is another way to solve the problem. And also, welcome to the stream. Okay. Yeah, again, I'm worried that like I want to have some buffer in between these two because I don't want the pixels to. Like here, I'll try it. Maybe I'll just show you instead of tell you. So when we go into texture paint mode, and we are painting our beautiful pixel art, and we're putting in stuff like this. These pixels right here are very much so tied together. Like if we change this one here, we get that one in the back, which is not necessarily desirable behavior because maybe we want this to be dark because it's like the back of the fireplace, but then we have this dark here where we might want this edge to be light. So just give it a little bit of room. Exxon Ramage says, normally think, oh, texturing game is the least difficult part of the game, but after watching this, it seems quite difficult. Well, I'm also particular because I want pixel perfect textures, so you do have to put a little bit more effort into making it pixel perfect. I could just here, let me save. You can't just select everything, hit unwrap. It'll do something crazy. You can call it a day, right? But it looks gross. Yeah, no UVing is definitely a lot more work than people think it to be. And Blender has some excellent UV tools to kind of help make my life easier, but still, I want like nice, perfect. Like I want to maintain like a nice pixel resolution all across all my assets in the game. It looks yeah, it's effort to do that, and there looks to be something goofed up either here, but yeah, we'll figure it out. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think me moving the stuff around by hand is kind of goofed up where everything lies. And it's because these aren't on pixel bound, or these vertices aren't on nice pixel boundaries. I can't necessarily snap it because it'll break those. Okay, well, I'll just keep. Okay, let's just grab everything and kind of shimmy it here as close as we can. And let's select everything but these. These are the ones that don't fit to the grid. Well, those are the ones that don't fit to the grid. I can hit Control I and then Shift S, snap selected to pixels. And that should tidy up a lot of stuff. And then I can select this. And then just these top ones and these bottom ones. There we go. And there might be a little distortion, but that's probably gonna have to, I'm just gonna have to live with it. Okay. Laying this stuff out too is going to be interesting. I want to make it as easy as I can for like hand painting this stuff, or at least texturing it. So maybe also just grab this and just hide it. So I'm only really worried about the unique stuff right now. Thank you for the kind words, Exxon Ramage. Like, unfortunately, like I am very details focused, and sometimes that makes progress go really slow. And it's frustrating. But to me, I want to have like a really nice, good, consistent look on the game, and that just takes a lot of like attention to detail and effort to make that happen. Chris says a program made for pixel art UVing would be cool. UV stands for the coordinate space that I'm working in. So here, this is the 3D view. The 3D view has, there is the up, which in Blender is the Z, positive Z. There is the X axis, and this is the positive X. And then there is the Y axis that goes back into the distance. That's the positive Y. And then up here in the 2D space, I think, so we have this direction is, depending upon like who you ask, this is the positive V. Sorry, my hand keeps hitting this scroll thing. And then this is the positive U direction. And this is if you're working in UV coordinates. Not all games use UV coordinates. Some use ST coordinates. So when I say UV, I also mean that this is 0 here. This value is 1, and that value is 1. So it goes from 0 to 1. Those are UV coordinates. S and T coordinates are based on the actual texture dimensions and not the like the surface dimensions versus this projected space between 0 and 1. Yep. Yep. Yeah. It's just to note that UV is normalized between 0 and 1. As soon as it becomes non-0 to 1, then you get into a different type of coordinate system for your textures. You can exceed it, but then you just wrap, at least in the UV coordinate space. Cool. So let me just clean up my No. Oh. My grease pencil markings here. There we go. Oh, sure. But again, they're still normalized to the 0 to 1 space. Versus over here, I think in Blender, if I can turn on, they call it something different, but I can turn on coordinates normalized, I think, and then now, wait, no. So if you leave it unnormalized, it shows it in S&T. And if you normalize it, then it shows it in the 0 to 1. So this is 1 1 and 0 0. But if you if you leave it unnormalized, then you can get the S&T values, and that's what I use when I'm doing the manual translations. Okay, so we were unwrapping stuff, I think. Okay. So it'd be nice if all of this kind of just nicely was chunked together, because it's kind of like one logical unit. It kind of makes it easy to visualize like what's going on here. So maybe I can just kind of just slam this together. Did I goof up? Where'd my thingy go? There we go. Okay. Yeah, and it is snapping to vertices. Okay, there we go. That looks good. What else? So now to handle how this stuff. I mean, this stuff also naturally nests nicely, but again, I want to be careful about packing them too. I guess as long as there's no overlap, I can pack them as tight as I want, which I think is okay. Okay, so I can just grab this and slide it down, and it's nice and snug right there. Okay, but then they need to get out of the way for this stuff. So these, for the time being, I'm just going to slide them over here. So get X848. That's still not quite out of the way, but that's all right. Yeah, what about, so I guess it should follow that these and these should also, yep, those are okay. These and these all should be kind of living closely to each other. Not for any like technical reason. It's just for my brain when I'm doing it's easier when looking at it like a texture sheet if things are kind of somewhat logically arranged. Okay, that looks all right. Still got some overlapping UVs that we need to fix. Oh, did I miss that? Oh, boo. Okay, so this guy needs to go there. There we are. Okay, there's still some overlap with this stuff. So this and this need to go somewhere. Just gonna slide them over to the side for the time being. This needs to get out of there. Yeah, and I also probably should make that line up a little bit nicer. Uh-oh, did I goof on those also, looks like? Skin Y. Hmm. Hmm. Something's amiss. So hit Y to rip. And then I just want to position these correctly. There we go. There we go. My little pixel perfect heart is much happier now. I do use earlier I was using projection from view. That's how I got this whole thing laid out in the first place. Now I'm just aligning because I don't want to lose my pixel perfect UVs. And as soon as you start letting the like if you let like Blender pack your islands and stuff for you, then you get into weird weird places. Yeah, take care. Thanks for stopping by the stream. Also, I've been doing a small lunchtime project during the weekday. If you want to stop back by, I've been making a more traditional roguelike in Python, and I spent my lunch hour working on it, and it's been fun. It's a game that you can play in Twitch. So the chat plays the game while I work on it, which is kind of crazy, but it's been a fun little project. Okay, what? So still have some overlapping stuff, but I think I can fix that. Okay, so, Okay, let's. The time being, I just grab. Yeah, this should grab all the front-facing stuff. I'm curious why those don't line up. Oh no, oh no. So which one is incorrect? I think this one is goofed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep. Cool. Oh no, it's 2300. Interesting. So you are east of me by a ways. Plus, wow. That's cool. Yeah, I also archive all my streams out to YouTube. You could find if you look wherever my info thing is for my stream is, I archive out my streams. Yeah, I appreciate you taking the time to the Netherlands. Okay, yeah. So wow. Okay, yeah. So you are. Yeah, I guess it is getting late. Okay. There we go. A little bit more compact, which is nice. Oh, hey, Elbet. I know. Why are you still awake? It's a school night. Okay, so those are okay. Those are all nice and snug together. But I need to figure out where these are going to live. I think for these, I think it's totally fine. I can rotate them by 90. I can slam them right up here, maybe? Let's see how that works for now. I'm trying to think, what is all this business? Oh, yeah, I forgot to move these down again. Dang it. Oh, getting up for 5:30 for work. Oh my goodness, it definitely is a school night. You need to get some rest. Unless you're young, and then in which case, you know, lucky you. But yeah, for me, like 5-6 hours of sleep a night just doesn't cut it anymore. Like it's just getting too hard. Yeah, something's off there. There we go. Okay, then I can very nicely slam these down here. Cool. And hacking UV stinks sometimes. I could just, I guess. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, cool. Yeah, no. Blender is cool. It is definitely a fully featured 3D program. It just takes like learning the UI is the biggest hurdle for everyone jumping into Blender. It's taken me years and years to become proficient with it. I swear I rage quit Blender half a dozen times before I actually stuck with it long enough to become productive in it. Okay, so where are all these little pieces going to live? I guess you can live up here. That would be okay. Now these two long ones are just kind of making my life hard. Where can I stick you? Oh, I could. Yeah, let's try this. Well, it's just, well, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Let's just try this. Get x2, y, oh, get x2, get y2. Oh, wait. Get x2. Then can I just kind of tuck them away? Yeah, if there's anything specific you want to know, please let me know. There we go. Not perfect, but it works well enough for what we're trying to do. So Aeobet's the outliner blended with my mortal enemy. You select with the right button, accepting the outliner. So what I did is I've gone to File, User Prefs, and where is it? Input, and I'm one of the weird select with left people. You can toggle it right here, and I prefer to select with left mouse. Unfortunately, there are some like operators that don't honor that, and you just kind of have to learn to live with it. But yeah, for the most part, I think that selecting with left is correct. The thing I think is weird is what did I do? I broke it. Select with left. It's weird to me that they think the cursor is so important that it gets a button on the mouse. I rarely use the and also too, I come from a Mac, so I also use this emulate 3-button mouse. That's what's goofing me up. Because I'm not used to having a mouse wheel. There we go. Yeah, unfortunately, it is tough to get into. Let's save this. I think this is a winning UV layout. It's pretty darn compact, except for oh yeah, except for this issue right here, which I talked about and I didn't avoid because I'm silly. Ooh, can we work around it? Do we have to live with it? Let me see. Get x48. Where would I stick that if it didn't live there? What's this thing right here? What are you? I always think it's sometimes you end up with a oh, see, there's a mystery face that I've not accounted for. Let's slam you right there. Except for you don't quite fit. You don't fit. Okay. Oh, sure. I typically, what I do is I will select an object I want, and I'll hit Shift S, and I'll just put the cursor right where I want it exactly, rather than trying to like right click and then move the view and then make sure that it's still like quite where I want it. I like to make absolute selections is how I work. Yeah, the thing that kills me is here in Seattle we have a Blender user group, and I usually go every month. And whenever I go up to demo, it's just a vanilla setup. So like I look like an idiot for the first like few minutes while I'm trying to like remap my brain and all the buttons. Okay. Okay, I think I need to find new homes for these. I guess I'm just gonna just stick them for the time being over here. Sometimes I just go in and disable right click. I mean, that's the thing is like it is nice to have custom setups so you can kind of like it would be really nice just to have something record my keystrokes and tell me the things I hit the most so I can like maybe more quickly bind like common keystrokes to like a button. But yeah, it's just kind of it is kind of a very personal thing. Where are you gonna live? I could slam it up there, I suppose, or here, and there, sideways. Just doesn't quite fit nicely. Also, I think that's off. I think that's off. Nope. I just thought this and this should line up. Wait. This and this should be the same size, and they're off. Just oh weird. Okay. Okay. Wow. I guess I've gone over time. I usually try to keep these. I should usually try to keep these around just a couple hours, and I've been really intently focused on trying to get this darn thing UV unwrapped, and I haven't even had time to texture paint it yet, which is a bummer. That's yeah. I guess I'll play a little bit of Delver, and then I'll call it a day because I do want to spend time with my family. Right now, my wife and son are at swim class, which is a cool thing they get to do every every Sunday, but they should be getting back shortly. Oh, I can hear them. Cool. Well, let's just commit our changes and we'll call it a day. Git add. Actually, I'll just leave these in as they are. Let me think. Yeah. I've gone back and forth between a Magic Mouse and a wired mouse. Since I recently built the desktop, it is a Windows machine. It just doesn't support Magic Mouse at all. Okay, cool. So let me see. So I think we had a pretty productive stream. Unfortunately, it was like a lot of 3D modeling and UV unwrapping. So hopefully that was interesting to folks. Let me think. Yeah, if you want to support us, you can certainly buy Delver on Steam. It's $7.99. And you can go to delvergame.com. There's more information about the game there. We also have a Humble widget if that's the way you'd rather go, which also gives you a Steam key. I mentioned Steam a couple times because Steam is where the latest build is. I'm shooting to have a build out. I was estimating June, but it's looking to be more honestly like July because I still have to finish a few more props and then actually build out all the rooms for the new area. And I said the rooms will probably take me between 40 to 80 hours of work. And you know, I try to put in, I don't know, 6 to 8 hours a day on this. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be really tight. Because we're in early access right now, we haven't really put a lot of focus on like mobile platforms. We will release on iOS and we will update our Android build once we are full 1.0, which will be later this year. Yeah, so yeah, because we just don't think the iOS is a good platform for early access. But thank you everybody for hanging out with me while I work. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. I look forward to every Sunday for this fact. And hopefully it was entertaining or informative, or if neither of those, please let me know why you're here. If not, I will see you next Sunday for more Delver, or tomorrow for a small little fun project, making a roguelike, same time at noon. All right, folks, have a good week and take care.